Howdy, partners! Thank you for joining Raven the Commentator 2001, Raven and Robin on their new and improved Teen Titans Go adventure. You can skip this part and go to the episode reviews now, or keep on listening for the process. Here's how it works. They take a look at 4 episodes of each season at a time and review them using something called a pros and cons system. When they get done talking about the episodes, they give a golf-themed rating based on the number of pros and cons. The details on the rating system comes later on in the podcast. As always, this is an opinion-based podcast, so mind how you present your opposite opinion to the people in the video or other people on YouTube. Anyways, I'll get y'all back on your voyage. See y'all later.
What we do here is go back.
Welcome to the Revamped Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast. I'm Raven the Commentator, 2001. I'm Raven.
And I'm Robin.
So this is the very first episode of the podcast. So we looked over the pilot, and there's a lot of stuff that we need to improve on in order to make this better, right?
Right, so yes, we have the notes here. And this is from like the past 4 episodes. They're actually segmented episodes, so just bear with us on that.
We're maybe just gonna shoot for an hour, maybe over that or so. And I have a laptop, I have a timer, that's up on, I made a 15-minute timer for when we talk about the episodes on, my computer. So, hopefully this works. And the first episode review, as soon as I can get the plot synopsis ready, starts now. So the first episode that we are going to be talking about is Legendary Sandwich. So here's the plot synopsis for this one. Wanting to get rid of the other Titans so she can watch her favorite cartoon in peace, Raven sends them to the ends of the universe on a quest for the ingredients to make a legendary sandwich with the secret of eternal life. So basically, this is just the shortened version of the plot synopsis. Here is so here's a little bit of a here's the major part of this whole thing. Raven tells them about a real-life legendary sandwich in her ancient legends book, which could provide immortality and was so dangerous that the ingredients were scattered in many places. Each of the Titans, along with Robin, prepared to go after one of the ingredients for the mystical sandwich. Cyborg looks for the mystical bacon in Lava Lake, as he has heat resistance. Beast Boy looks for the king's lettuce buried deep underground when he reaches in gopher form. Starfire reaches for the stellar tomato located among the stars. Robin goes after the pretzel bread located in the supermarket, much to his disappointment to the lack of danger.
Hey, why did you think it was so funny? I mean, sure, Robin has been wanting and has been hungry for some danger and mostly not sandwiches in his life, but really? You have to make fun of him all because he got a lame ingredient that he has to go after? Cheese and rice.
That may be a bit of a bummer for you, but not for that. Alright, so here's another part of this. Starfire, Beast Boy, and Cyborg get beat up by the Sandwich Guardians, causing Starfire to lose her hair, Beast Boy to crack his teeth, and Cyborg to lose his arm. After their fight, they manage to beat the Sandwich Guardians and get the ingredients. Robin, after waiting for a long time, finally gets the pretzel bread. Raven then makes the sandwich with a magical spell, and the other Titans get into a fight about who should eat the sandwich. Unfortunately, Silky eats the sandwich first, but then vomits it out, proving Robin's sandwich is better than the mystical sandwich. The mystical sandwich has no value. Well, that's one part of the episode that I have a problem with, kinda. More on that later. So, guys, since you were here, Robin, this is for Raven specifically, since you were here for the second episode of the original Teen Titans Go Saga, the podcast. Did you have any thoughts on the Legendary Sandwich episode?
You know, it's kind of it's a pretty good episode for me, but yeah, it does like showcase like almost like a lot of problems, like the fact that they're trying to turn Beast Boy into a meat eater when really he was a vegetarian. They don't really get that detail until much later when they get into the Tower Power Hour episode or whatever that is. But in addition to that, I actually didn't mind the ending at all. It's just felt it almost like fell a little flat for me. How about you, Robin? What are your thoughts on the episode?
Well, I thought it was pretty entertaining. It had a lot of good entertainment value for the most part. But the Robin, he seemed a little pretentious about his love for sandwiches, and yeah, that's what I have a bit of a problem with for this episode.
Well, I'm not gonna go into all of the pros and cons, maybe just some of the major ones. So, this episode has a nice MLP parody, with like Pretty Pegasus or whatever, and there's also like the great story like behind the legendary sandwich, and also a little bit of personality. One of Beast Boy's personality is kept when he finds the king's lettuce in gopher form. And there were also some engaging action scenes in the creative and the cute planet design, and there was also the hilarious struggle of Robin at the supermarket, which I'll admit was pretty funny. The cons, I think, was like Robin's constant interruptions, and there's also Robin being ridiculous, and they were trying to make Beast Boy a cannibal a little bit, which I didn't appreciate. And there are also boring scenes with, ironically, Robin being bored, and the three of the Titans sacrificing an arm, hair, and teeth for the most part. But for the most part, the episode was pretty good. It has 16 pros and 14 cons in total. So that goes into a little later. Now, moving on to Pie Bros. So I gotta find a little plot synopsis for this. Hang on. Alrighty, I found the plot synopsis for Pie Bros. So here's the little plot summary. Cyborg's birthday is coming up, and so Beast Boy takes a job at their favorite pie shop so he can afford an expensive gift. But when he had to work during Cyborg's party, his job threatens to come between the two Pie Bros.
Ooh, drama. Like, I'm sure nothing bad's gonna happen to Beast Boy in his pie job. Cheese and rice. Ugh.
Well, I think we can all agree that the episode was kinda bad.
Yeah, it was starting good, sure. The setup in the beginning was good, but almost everything else was just, it was questionable, it was bad, and it just gives overall pretty bad taste in some people's mouths for a while.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of my philosophy on it. Plus, it's almost very mean-spirited up to the point where the lesson of friendship doesn't really mean anything in this episode. I mean, you could tell that just by the fact that they were fighting in the pie shop, and just by the fact that they were, excuse me, just saying like a bunch of mean stuff to each other, all because, well, he didn't buy a gift for him, which is basically just a video game.
Spoiler alert! Sorry about that. Alright, so let's go to the pros and cons of this episode. So there was a nice setup in the beginning, and there was the cute cartoony animations, especially with like the sappy moments and whatnot. And then Robin tells Beast Boy that friends don't have money to spend on them. It's the thought that counts. And I absolutely agree with that. I mean, especially especially on Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. Forgot to say it in the beginning. But anyways, it's still very true. Even in like holidays, like Valentine's Day, a birthday, or even Christmas, that was good. But unfortunately, the negatives almost outweigh the positives, and it was all because of the pie song. I will admit that it has a nice beat, and the voice actors for Cyborg and Beast Boy have a good flow to the rhythm. However, it was just mediocre at best, with just mediocre lyrics. If you want a song almost involving pie done right, I would recommend listening to the Thankfulness song from VeggieTales instead. I thank God for this day, for the sun in the sky, for my mom and my dad, for my piece of apple pie. You already kind of get the idea if you're a VeggieTales fan like I am. And there was also this one joke in the episode where he sticks his finger into Raven's pie, and yeah, that was just disgusting. Like I couldn't even. I will never again look at pie the same way after that joke. I'm assuming that he didn't wash his hands, and so he just touches Raven's pie for no reason. And then there was a little comment that he made is like, no offense, Starfire, but maybe someone else should plan Cyborg's birthday party. I mean, seriously, just let Starfire plan Cyborg's birthday party. Come on. You're not in charge of Cyborg's birthday. It's Cyborg who he's in charge of. Not the birthday party. And there's also this creepy pie making thing, and it's where they make pies out of people. It almost kind of reminded me of this one episode of Bob's Burgers where Louise makes a rumor saying that her family makes burgers out of people.
Oh! That's disgusting! That is just flat out disgusting.
Alright, anyways, and there were also way too much, almost little bits of sappy moments with Beast Boy, and there were stupid job moments, he was a chemist, he was a surgeon, he was a doctor, and he was basically a lawyer at one point. And then there was also Starfire getting out that giant scary pin, and she and Raven's apparently okay with it. So there was betrayal there. Sorry about that. It's just that I keep getting notifications from YouTube on my phone. But anyway, there's betrayal between Beast Boy and Cyborg, which I didn't appreciate. And then that scene where Beast Boy gets insulted really made me angry. And then there is another fight in the episode. there's like this big cliche in the show where the Titans fight each other for one reason or another.
Yeah, I really didn't appreciate, like, that fighting scene either.
So, and there are also, like, that he, like, spits, it's like he spits pies out of he spits pies out, and it's like, Starfire is sorry, but Starfire was wrong. The party didn't go so well because of the fight. It didn't go so well at all. And then they fight and they are still fighting when they should have saved their friends from being mean in the pies. And so they act stupid, like none of this ever happened. And then they like eat their pies out of the other Titans' clothes, which I thought was pretty disturbing.
Yeah, it is. It was pretty disturbing. And it was also kind of very discouraging, too. The fact that, they made a bit of a cannibalism joke on there, it really just adds in a bunch of blech, even to this episode.
I agree. That's kind of my thing on it too. And I didn't really like how it really just made that disturbing.
All right, so we have about 1 minute left into that. So I'm gonna search for the driver's ed summary plot line. Anyone have any final thoughts on the episodes?
Legendary sandwich, really good, but the Pie Bros episode is just blech.
How about you, Robin? Do you have any final thoughts on the episodes?
Well, the Legendary Sandwich episode was pretty good, but Pie Bros was just pretty bad, and I didn't really, know about what it was gonna happen. I mean, yeah, sure, it doesn't make any sense, but overall, it was almost pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you two on these. So, oh, did the timer stop? Alright, now we're gonna move on to another episode of the season 1, and that is Driver's Ed. Now, this is another segmented episode. Oh, the timer's off. Gonna dismiss it. Alright, so I'm gonna look for that. Where was that? Oh, there it is. Here's the little Colorado driver's manual that I have. And it's gonna come out. And so we're gonna start the countdown timer for this one. 15 minutes. Alright, well, I'm waiting like for... Oh, there it is. Well, I'm gonna be waiting for this to load. I'm guessing maybe like we could entertain the audience, Robin.
What are we ever gonna talk about?
Talk about words.
Words. Words.
Robin, just say words.
Words.
Come on, Robin, you know better than that.
Oh, there it is. Alright, so where was that little... Alright, here we go. Now we can talk about Driver's Ed. And we are going to start that timer over, starting now. Alright, let's talk about the plot summary of it. Poor Robin gets his driver's license suspended after wrecking the Batmobile and must take a driver's ed course. What he doesn't know is that his driving instructor, Ed, is a robber that has some sinister tricks up his sleeve where he uses him as a getaway driver.
Ah! Getaway drivers! Yuck! Ew! I hate them! Get them away from me! Raven! Don't laugh at me! It's not funny!
I'm sorry, but I had to.
This is just so rich. All right, so the episode mentions something about somebody's license getting suspended. According to the driver's manual in Colorado, your driving privilege may be suspended or revoked or canceled if you meet or exceed the minimum point accumulation for suspension, are convicted of driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs, refuse to be tested for drug or alcohol contact, are convicted of failing to report an accident or leave the scene of an accident without stopping, exchanging information, and rendering aid. Failed to report an accident to the Colorado Motor Vehicle Division according to the Financial Responsibility Law. Give false information on your driver's license application. Failed to settle a judgment against you as a result of an accident while operating a vehicle. Lend your license to someone else or misuse it in any way. Alter or deface your license, fail to appear for re-examination requested by the Motor Vehicle Division, are convicted of manslaughter as a result of a motor vehicle accident, fail to pay a fine for a traffic violation for this or any other state, fail to register in Colorado all vehicles owned within 30 days of becoming a resident, fail to pay or order child support, and failed to provide valid evidence of insurance when requested by a law enforcement officer. If you are convicted of driving while under restraint, your driving privilege will be suspended again, effective for 1 year from the day where you would have been reinstated. So, does anyone have any thoughts on the episode before we continue on?
Well, I thought that it was a pretty decent episode. I kind of enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. It was a lot of fun. I liked some of the relatable moments. I liked how it dealt with him being posed as the getaway driver and having Ed posed as the driving instructor. But yeah, it's pretty. But overall, it was pretty decent.
How about you, Robin? What did you think about the episode?
Well, it was actually a pretty decent episode. It was very entertaining. It was a lot of fun to watch, especially with the car chases. And it was all good, clean fun, and that's all that mattered.
All right, so let's talk about I want to talk about some of the pros and cons of the episode. So the setup in the beginning was very relatable. In fact, there are a lot of relatable moments. But there are also like the Titans getting sick of Robin's silliness and that they don't want to, and that they do like what they are doing in the living room. And there was like the dollar store part, and that was like pretty hilarious. And then there was like Robin's reasoning for having the Titans drive him everywhere, and that was like I said before, is that his license was suspended. Yeah, and there are also some pretty fun car chase scenes, which I really liked. However, there are some cons to this. There are like Robin's emergencies that the rest of the Titans didn't get to do what they needed to. And then Robin, and then there was like also like a lot of other bad stuff going on. And then there was also like the Titans laughing at the Robin, even though he was nervous to talk about it. He was kind of serious about it. And that Robin claims that he is a master driver, and ironically, he fails the test so many times until finally, in the ending, he passes. Another spoiler alert! And there are also a lot of dangerous parts of the driver's test, and then he does worse the second time around, driving through a store. And then the lost memory joke, it gets instantly run to the ground. So this one has 15 pros and 15 cons in total. Now we will move on to Dog Hand. Now this is one of the most interesting episodes because it has like some character that most of us might know from the original series. Raven's demon dad, Trigon, comes to visit and wins over her friends in an effort to get her to embrace dark magic and become evil like him. So basically, that's part of the setup of, like, his character in the show, is because, like, he uses his daughter just for his own selfish needs. Which as a moral Christian human being, I don't appreciate that. But it does, but there are a lot of things that kind of make up for it, but I want to see their thoughts first.
Oh gosh, I wanted to talk about this episode so badly. So, I actually kind of liked the episode. I liked how it set up Raven and Trigon's relationship as father and daughter. It kind of reminded me of Peter Quill's relationship with his father, as showed in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
You watch Marvel movies too?
I sure do. I hope to join the Marvel fan club when Infinity War comes out.
Yay!
But anyways, it was also very entertaining, and I think the Cyborg's dog hand is kind of cute.
How about you, Robin? What did you think of the episode itself?
Well, I thought it was a pretty entertaining episode. I thought it was, like, really good. In fact, almost one of the better episodes of almost like the first season overall, I think. And I also kind of like some of the moments, like, with Trigon and Raven. Not too much, to the point where I just, like, really, really love them, but not just enough to see why their relationship is flawed.
Alright, so I think you two have brought up some good points, especially in the pros and cons of it. Is that her reasons for her anger is completely understandable, and there was like a Dr. Seuss nod where the little bird, do you remember the story? There was like this little bird that goes to every animal and says, "Excuse me, are you my mother?" In which I really kind of liked. And there was like a good introduction to Trigon and him wearing a turtleneck sweater. Who would have guessed? And there are also like his compliments to his friends, and there was like a good Batman nod. And that he grants the Titans any power. And so the rest of the Titans, they were very nice to Trigon, and there was like Starfire speaking like a modern teen, which was kind of funny. And the fact that Trigon is defeated and the Titans turn to normal, and then that Raven foreshadows a future episode. We don't know what it is, but soon enough we'll find out. But there are a lot of cons to this, is that the introduction, Trigon's introduction, although great, was repeated by Trigon with a lot of extra details, in that Robin gets hurt, and then like she gets a bit harsh with Trigon, and then there was like his lecture, it was a bit unnecessary, and so was like Raven almost a bit unreasonable towards her dad, but him being the villain, I think it's a little more forgiving. And then there was like the part where Raven says, "Wiener." Didn't want to whisper that, I'm sorry. And there was like Robin's veins showing when he has the muscles, and he throws the TV. It's like Robin's advice was proven to not be helpful towards the end. Basically, he says that she should be more like her father, and the fact of the matter is that he's basically implying that she needs to be evil just like her father. And that really, really kind of almost ticked me off a little bit. We might want to cut out the parts where we're drinking water.
I'm not drinking water.
Where you're drinking coffee.
Because I'm caffeinated squared.
So we just got back from Starbucks. And this is his second cup of coffee in a day. He has, like, what does he call it? Like a tall caramel latte or something like that.
Yeah, it's because I really like the caramel flavor.
Alright, enough enough coffee talk. Let's get back to the cons. Is that the art on I don't remember doing a commentary on this episode with my dad, and he really complimented, like, the art on the wall, even, like, in one of the houses. He said it was fantastic, but it starts looking the same, and that the third step of that was basically messed up, and Trigon says that she must kill her friends. And that was almost troubling, and that's gotten into the reveal of him being the villain. Now, let's talk about Trigon for a few seconds. So Raven, you know why I adopted you via Amazon, right? Because you wanted me out of Trigon's hair? Exactly. You don't like Trigon, do you? Yeah, we have a bit of a rocky relationship with each other. Yeah, so it's just like, basically, that relationship, is kind of like the one relationship as shown, like I said, in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, with his father. Let's see, like, alright, we gotta find, like, the plot details here, like, basically, it's basically, like I said, it's almost basically like, Peter Quill's relationship, with his father, although it was revealed that his father, over the past few minutes of the film, it was almost revealed that he was the villain of the whole movie. It's like he wanted him to be the god, and he could, like, destroy the universe. And it was almost revealed. It was revealed that his father, that he killed his mother.
What? What? Peter Quill's father killed his mother?
Yes, he did.
Oh, this humanity! I am never gonna look at most Marvel movies the same way again! Curse you, Peter Quill's dead! Alright. Now,
So I'm gonna be, like, drinking water for this moment. Like, why don't you, to entertain the audience,
well, what is it we need to talk about?
talk about words?
Well, there's really not much to talk about. It just felt like silent for almost, like, the past few seconds.
Alright, so we just got done talking about... Oh, whoops. Anyways, now we will move on to Double Trouble. Double Trouble and the date. And that time starts now. Let's get to the plot summary of this episode. Cyborg convinces Raymond to create a magical double of himself and Beast Boy, so they will both always have some time to play with each other. Okay, that plot alone even, like, sounds a bit ridiculous. So what did you guys think about this episode? It's almost like on the same level as Pie Bros.
it's pretty bad. It even is, like, ridiculous and mean-spirited in some parts. The mean-spirited parts, I didn't really appreciate them the most.
How about you, Robin? What are your thoughts on the episode?
Well, it started out to be a pretty fun episode, but then, as soon as, like, the clones show up, that's when the episode started to become troubling for me. Like, I just didn't like it.
Alright. So let's talk about, like, some of the cons of the episode. And there's like, Cyborg's concern is completely understandable. That and Raven's scene was good, and her doubling spell is kind of cool. And there's also Robin's advice on magic, in which I gotta find something about that. It was like, and it's where Magic says, magic is like the most powerful tool or something, and it is not a toy that is meant to be played with. And then that, his advice of it is very smart. And there's also, Raven having enough with Cyborg's nonsense. And so, at least, like, they were smart about kicking the clones out. And then that Raven, helps, their backup. Like, and then Raven helps in that, like, with, like, the whole situation. And that, their backup plan works. And then the tower replaces itself, which is kind of cool. And that ending, was pretty entertaining. But here are some of the cons of it. Like, Cyborg tricks Raven, Beast Boy points out the obvious, there's there's Cyborg moping and doping about Beast Boy, and Raven getting annoyed, and then there's, like, Cyborg grabbing Beast Boy by the head, and then the other Beast Boy and Cyborg just become jerks to each other. And there are also, like, the doubles of Beast Boy and Cyborg being jerks to the original two, which I didn't appreciate at all. That and Robin struggling to open the door with his body, although it was pretty entertaining to watch, I just didn't really like it. And so Beast Boy points, like, to the real part of it. It really points out that the apartment is messy. That and that Robin becomes almost really harsh with the original Cyborg and Beast Boy, and then they really let themselves go. They kind of looked like Jabba the Hutt all of a sudden, like, in their forms.
Sounds like they ate, like, way too many pizza.
That and they owed some money, and that and Han Solo might have owed them some money.
Shh! You're gonna offend a lot of Star Wars fans by saying Han Solo.
Why?
Well, because he died in the 7th movie.
Well, now you spoiled the ending for that. How dare you!
Ow! That hurt. Don't hit me ever again.
Fine. Well, that was a bit mean. My apologies for that. We'll promise that we'll keep it toned down in other episodes. Trust me, we'll try our best. All right, and there was also the fact that the clone Beast Boy and Cyborg become hobos, which I also didn't appreciate that. So this has 18 cons and 18 pros, and 22 cons in total. Now, moving on to the date. Alright, now let's see. Robin gets up the courage to ask Starfire on a date, only to find out that she has already agreed to go out with Speedy, Robin's arch rival. So, Robin kidnaps Speedy.
Why? Why would he kidnap anybody? I thought he was a hero.
I agree on that sentiment. Like, isn't that kind of dumb to kidnap people? Isn't that illegal?
Well, yeah, it is illegal to kidnap people in various states of the United States of America, Missy.
Yeah, and in some parts of Canada.
I'd take that back if I were you.
What? I was just referring to Canadian law, not making an offensive statement against overall Canadian law. Yeah, just one little.
You're just digging a hole, girl. Just digging a hole.
Stop making fun of me.
Okay. So let's talk about our
Opinions on this episode. What did you think? Same thing as, I think the same thing about Double Trouble can be said about The Date. It was pretty bad. It had the potential to be good. But it just ended up being so terrible. Like, ugh. Like you wouldn't believe. And even Speedy has become intolerable. But, yes, it even, like, I didn't really like Speedy in this episode. He was just being a big bully. And Robin was being a big bully to Speedy too. But Speedy was the one who started it.
All right, Robin, what did you think about the episode?
Well, it was pretty bad. I have to agree with Raven on that. And it just wasn't that good. It wasn't that good.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about, like, the pros and cons that I took notes on. And so there's, like, some good stuff that I have. Like the two of Robin's ways of asking were pretty cool. And that Robin and Starfire's interaction, it was pretty funny. That in, like, Speedy's first appearance, like, all right, I'm gonna do it like that guy in the Shining, Johnny.
Here's Speedy.
All right, so, and then there was, like, Starfire breaking, like, the fourth wall. It's, like, they have, like, similar physical and auditory, Robin and Speedy are similar in terms of their voice and their physicality. And there was also a good Scooby-Doo reference, like, Speedy was like, would you help me for a Scooby snack? and that was pretty funny. And then, like, there was, like, a cool action scene, and that Starfire notices Robin's behavior, and there was, like, a clever fourth wall break, and that Robin knew that what he did was terrible. But, unfortunately, there was, like, a lot of bad stuff with it. Like, it's almost like the audience, in the beginning, it's almost like the audience, was, like, invading Robin's privacy, and at the start, it gets very confusing at first, and that pink paper thing, it gave me a lot of bad memories of towards the end of the second semester in Spanish 2, with that substitute teacher that had absolutely no control. Ugh, really did not like that. And there was also, like, the possibility of a love triangle, and Robin being angry so much, and there was Robin kidnapping Speedy, which is what the plot pointed out, and that Robin's disguise is in unacceptable condition. Unacceptable! Ugh. I'll see myself out. And then there was, like, Speedy saying, let me go, so many times, and it was, like, so annoying! And there was, like, way too much conflict, and, with, like, Robin and Speedy, and the narrator goes out with Starfire. I was just rooting for Starfire to forgive him. And it was like, ugh, hated it. Ugh. Alright, so we're done. That's about enough of, that. Why don't we move on to Dude Relax? So we're gonna start the timer over.
And we've got the notes for the pros and cons ready. And now. The team places Robin on forced hiatus while Beast Boy teaches him to relax after his high-strung nature begins affecting the team. Robin attempts to learn how to be lazy. Okay. Alright. So let's talk about, like, our thoughts on the episode. Raven, what did you think of the episode?
Well, I thought it was, like, one of the episodes of, almost the 4, of, like, the start of season 1. I actually kind of enjoyed that. I mean, like, Robin learns, like, almost, like, it kind of learns a very valuable lesson that there's gotta be a balance of emotion every once in a while, but I don't think the message was sent the right way.
Alright, Robin, what did you think?
Well, I thought it was like one of the better episodes of the 4 segmented episodes. Like Raven said, it made awareness of trying to like relax, and it's really overall it was overall really entertaining.
Alright, so sorry about that. Let's talk about the pros and cons of those episodes. So, there was like a lot of good things that, according to my notebook, there was like a lot of good things that I had to say about it. So there was like there was also like some of the major ones, like relaxing is good when stuff gets stressful, and I know I get into a lot of stressful situations a lot, especially with my family, but I just try my best to, just try to relax and everything else. And there was like the little sleep gag that was pretty funny, and then there's Cyborg work in the car. The mug vaccine brings like some decent memories of me putting on mud mask, and like that part was funny. There was like Raven cutting the leaves, and then she like shuts him out. And yeah, there's a lot more to that. And then there's Beast Boy playing fetch with himself. And then there was like a crime alert, and Robin is just inside to relax. And there was like a little scene where it's like the key thing. I learned that key thing for almost like the 2 consecutive years that I was in my high school choir. It was a Liberty High School choir. And there were Liberty High School choirs of that. However, like, there are, like, some, cons that don't affect the episode all that much, like Robin invading everyone else's business, the car being broken, and that there's oil on Cyborg, and there's, like, a collar that, like, a shot collar just to get him inside. It's probably not the best idea to get someone to stay inside, and the rest of the Titans just don't listen to him completely. And there's Robin's twitching leg, and that Robin ignores the others in the communicator from the end. Like Raven said, it's trying to bring in like some sort of awareness of the whole trying to balance out like the stress with the chill and everything, but I don't think that they might have sent that message correctly, and yeah, I do agree with Raven on that. Yeah, that's basically it. Now moving on to laundry day. Do 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 do. All right. So It's laundry day, but Robin makes Raven do the chore, but problems begin to arise if the Titans don't have their suits.
Ooh, drama, intensity, scariness, ooh. Like, I'm sure nothing bad is gonna happen when Raven does the laundry. They try to get that goop off the suits and everything. Alright.
So what are your guys's thoughts on the episode?
Well, I thought it was a pretty good episode, first of all. I really enjoyed that. I liked the ending. I liked how entertaining it was. And I absolutely admire, like, a lot of the good stuff that it has. It almost kind of outweighs the bad stuff.
How about you, Robin? What did you think?
Well, like I said, it's one of the better episodes of the start of season 1. And it was really entertaining. I really enjoyed it. Overall, you know, I wish there would have been almost more episodes like that.
Alright, so let's get into the pros and cons of the episodes. And so, like, the booger joke was, like, kind of funny, and it was good. And it was, like, a good Ghostbusters reference. And that Cyborg, like, is revived. And there's, like, the contests that they kind of sound challenging but fun. And there's, like, Beast Boy's bit of it is funny. And then that they are now naked. And that was equal, like, 2. And that was, like, 2 funny. And there was, like, the Leaf Batman mask. And there was, like, Robin escaping the fangirls and an army of bees. Ah! Not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Not the bees! Not the bees!
I know we're kind of like repeating Nicolas Cage, and I do sincerely apologize if you don't appreciate the Nicolas Cage memes.
And there are also, like, Ravens, like, wearing, like, the creative robe. And there was, like, and he was, like, shut out by Raven for the second time in an episode. And that Starfire's sewing bit, it was too funny. It was, like, the dress is beautiful, but she's like,
Oh, this is hideous! I hate it! I want my suit back! Wah! Hey! I can hear you from the far away! I am not the whiny kind!
Starfire from way far on the shelf, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, and Robin, it promises to do the laundry for the next year, and that was, what they wanted to hear. And that was what she wanted for the year, even though it was his turn to do the laundry, and he's basically avoiding all responsibility. Not you, Robin. I mean, you take your responsibility as an actor very seriously. Whew.
Thank the angels of heaven for that.
But there are some cons that kind of go along with it, but they don't affect it too much. Is that one is the slime monster. I do not like the slime monster. They are gross. It's gross. Ew. Okay? Ew. I don't like it. That, and there's Robin avoiding laundry when it was his turn, and that Robin takes, and that Raven is chosen to do the laundry, and that the Titans are in the wrong uniforms, and then Robin feeling embarrassed even after he wears Starfire's suit. Alright, so where is that other guy from the beginning? Howdy! What you need? So I think we might need the rating system to be explained. Let me see if I can find something here. Aha! There it is. Alright. Now let's see if I can find that. Do 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 A hole-in-one means that it is a fantastic piece of work with little to no flaws whatsoever, and it must be watched by everybody. An eagle means that it is great, but there are flaws that can affect anything that is reviewed. A birdie means that it is good, but the negatives can impact the positives greatly. A par means that it is okay, but it is not something that you would want to watch too much. A bogey means that it isn't terrible, but it isn't something that you would want to watch more than once. And a double bogey means it is the absolute worst thing that you might ever see. So avoid it at all costs. Thank you, guys. Thank you for that little introduction. You're very welcome. Alright, where did I put my notes? There it is. Because Legendary Sandwich has a total of 16 pros and 14 cons, that episode is a birdie. Pie Bros, with only 8 pros and 22 cons and counting, is a bogey. 15 and 15, that means that Driver's Ed is a par. 21 pros and 11 cons means that Dog Hand is a birdie. It's another birdie from that. Double Trouble, because of the 18 pros and 22 cons count, is a bogey. The Date, because of its 16 pros and 21 con count, it is also a bogey. Dude Relax has a total of 26 pros and 11 cons, making this episode an eagle. Hang on. Let's make a little bit of some calculations on the calculator real quick, just to see if this is actually true. So this is 15 positive points. So we're going to change that to birdie. And Laundry Day, because of its count of 22 pros and 19 cons, that, according to my calculations, that makes it out to be an eagle. Wow! The first season almost went off to a great start. Anyways, this concludes the first ever episode of the Teen Titans Go Saga the podcast, or the revamped Teen Titans Go Saga the podcast, excuse me. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, and we will see you guys next time. Until then, this is Raven the Commentator 2001, Raven, and Robin, saying with great wisdom comes great responsibility. Take care, and happy Valentine's Day! Music provided by YouTube Creator Studio and accredited artists in the description below. This podcast was brought to you by Raven the Commentator 2001 Productions, proud supporter of common sense and brotherly and sisterly love on the internet. The channel motto is, with great wisdom comes great responsibility, and by over 100 Raven community members, including Audrey Does Her Thing. Thank you all for your continued support. Let's work together to make the internet a better place.